It's a wonderful Friday. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carrick, Petey, Martinique. The voice of wonderful local queens, Sonika McKee. Please don't let it go on a Friday. If you have a dream, just knowing that's in your heart, that is going to work out for sure. And that's your message for the day, for today, Friday, the 17th day of the month of January. I want to say thank you for choosing to wake with classic in the morning time. Choosing to allow my voice to be the one that resonates in your head as I get you set for the day. A wonderful good morning to you wherever you are. And those of you here at home across the region, other parts of the diaspora, JC sending you a whole lot of love. And what is in fact another great day. Today, let's consider it to be the start of the rest of our lives. Find something to do. If you're scared of reaching another level, then you break up inside. You're breaking up inside. You want to run away and hide? It's time to take a stand. And that is, in fact, the message of the day. And that is the message for the rest of our lives. If you find you breaking up inside, we need to take a stand and consider what next. Good and wonderful good morning to you. I want to say thank you for being part of this conversation. And I'll be here with you, keeping you company until 8 later on in the morning time. It is Friday. Yeah, Friday. And for most of us, it tends to be mentally a more relaxed day. But while some of us have the ability to do that, others we need to be able to motivate ourselves, and I want to hope that you can find that inner peace today that allows you and I to be able to take it to the next level. Good morning to you wherever you are, those of you that's on Facebook and other social media platforms. Your boy JC here with you, and I want to say thank you so much, because we have options. It's important. I want to say good morning to the Harris family in Mount Morris. Good morning to you and everybody else that is locked in wherever you are. Well, the plan is every day. How do we get to take you to the next level? And I certainly hope that you're willing to embark on that journey. There is going to be the morning edition sometime around quarter to the hour. And this morning, the conversation is going to touch and surround. Once that's over and done with, we'll have the team from the GBSS as an institution. They celebrating 140 years of learning, 140 years of excellence. That conversation comes up later on in the morning as you look at how the education has evolved over the years, and what next can we do as they get ready to impact another generation. But the word of the day, let's kickstart. Is going to be the word of the day and the motivational thought of the day. We're going to give you some health tips and get ready with the news. Yeah, so that's the way our morning is going to flow. So the word for the day is sagacious, and for sagacious, it means showing good judgment. Yes, sagacious, showing good judgment. When using a sentence, it says, her sagacious advice guided me through a tough decision. And very often in life, we need to find ourselves in that point where we show good judgment, good balance, yes, and not necessarily allow our raw emotions. And while there are times we need our raw emotions, sometimes we need to stop back and allow good judgment to prevail on any given day. Hoping and that's what you're going to do for today. So that's the word for the day, sagacious. Yes, so we move to the word of the day, and we're now going to offer you a motivational tip of the day. Yes, as you keep your eyes on the clock, 20 minutes onto the hour in the morning time. So the quote of the day, it says, stay curious. Approach challenges with a curious mindset. Ask, what can I learn from this? Again, stay curious. Approach challenges with a curious mindset. Ask yourself the question, what can I learn from this? And if that's the mindset that you take, very often you'll ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What have I learned from this? And it allows us to grow as individuals. What can I learn from the decision I made yesterday, from the outburst, my response to a particular situation? Have I learned anything from it? we need to start asking ourselves those questions. Yes? Well, it means in the meantime, that nutritional health tip that comes up right about now.
You'll be fine. Drink lots of water.
Iron is an essential mineral that is important for transporting oxygen to and from the lungs and the body's tissues, and also transporting carbon dioxide from the tissues to the lungs. Iron plays a critical and important role in making the hemoglobin and myoglobin molecules of red blood cells, which makes all this movement possible. According to iHerb.com, most people suffer from iron deficiency, and it is the most common nutrient deficiency among infants under 2 years of age, teenage girls, pregnant women, and the elderly. Iron deficiency can lead to anemia, a deficiency of the red blood cells, which is the end stage of the condition. This can be caused by several factors, including an increased iron requirement due to a growth spurt, decreased dietary intake, or diminished iron absorption or utilization in the blood, and blood loss. Low iron or iron deficiency can affect the immune system, brain function, the body's energy levels, and menstruation in women. Common symptoms of low iron include dizziness, headaches, loss of appetite, poor exercise performance, shortness of breath, tiredness, and weakness. Iron is especially important for women who are pregnant, as they need much more iron during this time to support the brain development of the fetus. Iron is also critical for the development and growth of young children who need to eat iron-rich foods to avoid becoming iron deficient or anemic, as they are prone to this because they are constantly growing. Iron deficiency can be combated by simply eating foods that contain the mineral, as well as foods that contain vitamin C, such as citrus fruits, because vitamin C helps the body to absorb iron. Iron can be found in a variety of foods such as red meats and organ meats such as liver and kidney, seafood like mussels and oysters, green leafy vegetables like callaloo, broccoli and spinach, pumpkin seeds and other nuts and seeds, legumes like baked beans, lentils and chickpeas, and tofu. Until next time, the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council reminds you to look, eat, and feel well.
Minerals ring a bell? Yes, they keep the body.
Until next time, we say thank you to the team from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council. That probably have you thinking, what am I going to have for breakfast? Not really quite sure. Well, I'm just having myself a cup of cinnamon tea. Yeah, that's what I'm having for now. We're keeping our eyes on the clock. Good morning to Alvin Clouden and the team wherever you are. Well, I'm hoping that you are home, Alvin, yes, and everyone else that is dependent on us to get your day supercharged. It is, in fact, 17 minutes onto the hour in the morning time. We're getting ready for the morning edition of news, and that conversation comes up right about now as we get ready for the morning edition of news that comes up after this quick commercial break.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada, St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
15 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. Well, this is the GBN Morning Edition of news for today, January 17th, 2025. In the headlines, Economic Development Minister calls China a role model for developing countries. In the region, police seize guns, ammunition, and drugs during an SOE exercise. On the international front, Israel kills 25 children in Gaza following ceasefire announcement. While in sports, Get Grenada Swimming heads to Carriacou. Details after this message.
And so it begins. A journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Welcome back with the details. I am Joseph Cadore. Lennox Andrews, Minister for Economic Development, in a recent interview with Chinese media said China would always be a role model for developing countries like Grenada. Andrews has had a long-standing connection with China. During his early years studying in Cuba, he developed friendship with Chinese students there. Since the resumption of diplomatic ties between Grenada and China, Andrews has visited China multiple times and has personally participated in negotiations for key bilateral cooperation projects. This year marks the 20th anniversary of the resumption of diplomatic relations between China and Grenada. Andrews said that increasing and expanding ties has continued to benefit both countries. Andrews also emphasized that the long-standing influence of Grenada-China cooperation projects, which not only helps improve the life of Grenadians and promote poverty alleviation efforts, but also lay a solid foundation for the country's future development. He cited examples such as the China-aided low-income housing projects, which has enhanced living conditions for Grenadians, the Chinese-built National Stadium, which has elevated Grenada's sports capabilities and international image, while promoting tourism and economic growth, and the Maurice Bishop International Airport upgrading and runway paving project, which has created more jobs and development opportunities for Grenada. Well, on January 15, the Prime Minister, Deacon Mitchell, was conferred with an honorary professorship by Ningbo University of Technology during his official visit to the People's Republic of China. The significance recognition comes as Grenada and China celebrated 20 years of the resumption of diplomatic relationship. The honorary professorship symbolizes a deep appreciation for the Prime Minister's leadership and vision for fostering international collaboration and development. It also underscores the commitment of both nations to strengthening ties in education, innovation, and digital technology, among others. The Prime Minister Mitchell adds a team of delegates. They will wrap up their week-long trip off China today. Well, still also in the news, today is the last day of closure for the office of the Ministry of Infrastructure, Public Utilities, Civil Aviation and Transportation at the ministerial complex. Staff will continue working remotely. Payments for electrical inspections can still be made at the reception area at the lobby of the ministerial complex. For any queries, you call 417-3334. The normal operations will resume on Monday, 20th January. The ministry apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause. This other story to tell you in the local segment. Well, police have confirmed that they will not be granting amplification sound license or permission for any private sector activity that will be held on Independence Day this year. Further, the events that are granted license or permissions for February the 6th must conclude by midnight. Last year, with less than 48 hours to go, on February 7th, celebrations for the 50th anniversary of independence from Great Britain, police issued a notice cancelling the licenses that were granted for that day. Orlando Romaine, the then creative director of the National Organizing Committee for the 50th Independence Celebration, said the Royal Grenada Police Force decision to revoke all amplification sound licenses issued sought to ensure that there were no other events that will draw a mass crowd on Independence Day. When asked about the granting of permissions for activities on February 6th and 7th this year, the Community Relations of the RGPF confirmed that permission will not be granted. No official reasons have been provided. Well, moving from the local segment, we move on to the regional front and starting in Trinidad, where officers attached to the Point 14 police station, they seized a gun, ammunition, and drugs during an anti-crime exercise on Wednesday. According to police reports, the operations was conducted under the authority of the current state of emergency. During the exercise, officers searched the home of a male 33-year-old priority offender along the Pangola Road in Point 14, where they found the AR-15 rifle, 7 rounds of 5.56 millimeter ammunition with a magazine, and 1,250 cannabis plants in a hydroponic grown lab. The investigations continue. Moving quickly into Guyana. Well, on Wednesday, Roger Irwin Pierre, also known as Pants, a laborer of the East Coast Demerara, went in on a violent rampage, leaving 2 people dead and several others injured. Pierre, who is reportedly mentally ill, attacked a 63-year-old individual around 9:30 that morning. Well, Tuknot, who was stabbed and urgently transported to a nearby hospital, where he was later transferred to the Georgetown Public Hospital in critical condition. Around an hour after the attack, at approximately 10:30, there were reports of another incident that caused harm. A police team responded quickly and located the individual on Dundee Public Road, where he was still brandishing the weapon. Well, that story takes us out of Jamaica, out of Guyana. Well, let's see what's happening on the international front, where at least 21 Palestinian children and 25 women are among 87 people killed in Gaza since the announcement of the ceasefire deal expected to start on Sunday, as Israel's relentless air attacks intensifies. Whereas Israeli far-right national security leader Itamar Ben-Gvir said he would resign from the Prime Minister's Benjamin Netanyahu party government if it ratifies the ceasefire deal in Gaza. Israel's cabinet is set to meet this today, that is, to vote on the ceasefire deal, according to media reports. Netanyahu called off a cabinet meeting to vote on the deal on Thursday, alleging that Hamas reneged on some terms and accusations that the Palestinian group vehemently denies. Well, this final story on the international front, authorities in Venezuela have released a prominent human rights advocate from detention just days after the President Nicolas Maduro was sworn in for a 3rd term amidst a crackdown of dissenting voices and opposition leaders. Well, Carlos Correa, director of the Venezuelan non-profit Espacio Público, was freed on the early hours of Thursday, his organization said in a social media post. Well, that's the latest on the local, regional, and on the international front. We take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the latest in sports. Well, good morning and welcome back to you, sporting fans. We start off with action as it's happening right now. That's the first test in the West Indies tour of Pakistan. Well, we can tell you at present that Pakistan, they're currently 86 for 4. Yes, 86 for 4. Pakistan, they won the toss and they chose to bat, and they're currently 86 for 4. Well, what else is happening? We look at the action inside of the Subway Secondary Schools Basketball Championships. And from the last updates we've had for matches played yesterday, the Presentation Brothers College, they won that encounter 78-31 against SAS, the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School. We have top performance from the PBC, Omar Okolo. He scored 29 points. And from SAS, you had Lyndon Archibald, who scored 12 points, and he had 20 rebounds. Yes, and the finals will be held on January 27th. It's 3 games finals, which would be the 27th, the 29th, and the 31st. Well, free swimming lessons will be available next week at the Paradise Beach in Carriacou. These lessons offered daily after school will be led by the team of volunteers from Get Grenada Swimming, who will be arriving on the Osprey Ferry on Monday. Local volunteers will join them in this endeavor. The volunteers will also travel to the water taxi in Petit Martinique every afternoon to provide lessons to the schools, and then return to Paradise Beach by 3 p.m. daily. Deb Eastwood, who's the director of Get Grenada Swimming, she says that they are thrilled to bring the pop-up swim week to Carriacou, especially since they missed the regular national Learn to Swim week in July. Lessons will be held at the Paradise Beach from 3 p.m. to 5:30 each day. Well, that's the latest in sports. Well, we take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we join the team from the MBIA with the latest weather update. Just about 2 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock, the man Jerry Tamer joins us live from the MBIA for the latest weather update. Good morning, Jerry. Go ahead. Hello, Jerry. Jerry? Jerry, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, go ahead. You're live.
Oh, okay, Joseph. Pleasant good morning to you and Happy New Year to you. Pleasant good morning to all listeners of the network. Let's take a look at the weather for today, Friday, 17th. Well, present conditions down here at Point Lane and most of the Triana State conditions are fair. Wind is calm. Barometric pressure is now 15.1 millibars. Now that is above normal and rising. Current temperature 25.3 degrees Celsius, relative humidity 84%. Yesterday we recorded a maximum temperature of 30.7 degrees Celsius, and last night's minimum was 24 degrees Celsius. Rainfall over the last 24 hours at Point Salino was 4.8 millimeters, bringing a total for the month and, of course, the year thus far to 57.6 millimeters. Let's turn our attention now to the public forecast, and this is valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and the Petite Martinique. Conditions are expected to be partly cloudy with a few light scattered showers, especially this evening and tonight. Winds east, northeasterly to easterly at 12 to 22 miles an hour. Seas moderate, waves 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Tides are currently falling. Low tide will be at 9:20 this morning. High tide will be this afternoon at 4:36. Today we can expect a maximum temperature of just around 30.5 Celsius. Sunset today would be 2 minutes after 6. Sunrise tomorrow 6:32. So just to repeat the public forecast. Remember, it is valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and the Petite Martinique. Conditions are expected to be partly cloudy with a few light scattered showers, especially this evening and tonight. Winds east northeasterly to easterly at 12 to 22 miles an hour. So, from the Met Office at NBIA, Jerry Tamer.
Thank you, Jerry. All the best to you and the team. We're keeping our eyes on the clock. It's a minute gone past the hour in the morning time. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back for the official wrap of the news.
If you're 50 years and over or turning 50 in 2024, our 50-plus car insurance is perfect for you. It's loaded with free benefits like loss of use, special perils, and windscreen cover up to $2,500. Getting to 50 is filled with ups and downs. Let's celebrate these moments together and look forward to 50 more. Call Beacon Insurance at 440-4447 or log on to beacongrenada.com to get a free quote today. Special conditions apply.
We'll be keeping our eyes on the clock. 2 minutes gone past the end of the morning time now for a recap of the headlines. Well, Economic Development Minister calls China a role model for developing countries. While in the region, police seized guns, ammunition, and drugs during a SOE exercise, state of emergency exercise in Trinidad. In the international front, Israel kills 21 children in Gaza following a ceasefire announcement, while Get Grenada Swimming heads to Carriacou. And just to bring you up to speed, if I can, before I leave, well, that's Pakistan. They're currently 95 for 4 in what is in fact the first test of the West Indies tour of Pakistan. Yes, so Pakistan, they're currently, after winning the toss and opting to bat, they're currently 95 for 4. Well, on behalf of the entire team, we say thanks for being part of this morning's broadcast. We continue this morning later on, when, of course, we'll have the team from the Grenada Boys Secondary School celebrating 140 years of education. That conversation comes up in just a bit. Until then, I'm Joseph Cadore saying thanks for being part of this morning's broadcast.
Grenada is indeed beautiful and worth exploring. We firmly believe that you should be allowed to do so. Why not explore Grenada with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours? Whether you decide to explore Grenada with your family, spouse, or large group of friends, we are ready to welcome you. Our tours are guaranteed to leave you with wonderful memories of Grenada if you are visiting and excitement if you live here. Book a tour with us now by visiting our website www.jamessvcs.com. Call 1473-442-3769 or email info@jamessvcs.com. James Services Corp Off-Road Tours.
I am Dennis James Williams, owner and director of James Services Corp. Looking forward to welcoming you to the beautiful island of Union to explore with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours. See you soon.
Explore our beautiful island of Grenada from an angle that is unique and off-road, but equally fun. We are 100% family-friendly tours.
Get so much more with Courts Ready Finance. Whether it's a furniture upgrade or appliance replacement, it's easy when you shop using Courts Ready Finance. Get more flexibility by choosing your payment terms, more affordability with low monthly payments, and more access with fast and easy application. Plus, there's no down payment and you make your first payment in 30 days. Get great deals and gifts with select purchase. Get so much more with Courts Ready Finance. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Grenadians, the National Celebrations Committee invites you to celebrate the next 50, embracing a future of development, transformation, and unity as we ready ourselves to mark the Grenada's 51st anniversary of independence. On February 7th, 2025, activities include the Independence Monarch Competition semifinals, January 25th at Lassaget's Playing Field, with the final carded for Saturday, February 1st at the Sutter's Bus Terminal. National Church Service, February 2nd, 3 p.m., Crossview RC Church. February 6th, National Colors Day, Interministerial Competition and Independence Cultural Extravaganza from 7 p.m. at the Grenville Bus Terminal. And on Friday, 7th, it's the grand finale at the Kiriani James Athletic Stadium, the Independence Day Rally, Military Parade, and Made in Grenada Expo. Let's all celebrate in true Grenadian unity, the anniversary of our 51st independence.
Grenada is such a beautiful country.
St. John's Christian Secondary School 60th anniversary, January 12th to the 19th, 2025, celebrating 60 years of excellence through God's grace and guidance, calling all alumni. Come out and celebrate with us. Here's the calendar of events. On Sunday, January 12th, church service at the school auditorium from 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, January 15th, meet and greet at Belmont Estate 3:30 p.m. Thursday, January 16th, health fair at the school from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. Friday 17th January, chapel day, open forum at 10 a.m. Open house at 11 a.m. Sunday, January 19th, gala at the Trade Center from 7 p.m.
Coming up, these chefs and mixologists produce their creative best for their biggest party yet. This steel band has been making a difference for over 40 years. An island filled with beauty, a vibrant culture, and an iconic natural attraction. Now, where can this be? It's all next on this station.
Looking to take your business to new heights? Advertise with GPN on our social media platforms and get noticed by our 138,000 plus followers. Reach a massive engaged audience ready to connect with your brand. No matter your business size, GPN is here to help you grow. Contact us today at admin@gbn.gd or WhatsApp 407-8458 to get started.
Public transportation or with your mom and dad. Welcome back to our folks that's joining us on television. I was just about to say to our young people, I want to remind you that this is the second term, and it's a term that is punctuated, broken, and divided because there's a lot of sporting activities, and very often you know the challenge when it comes to in class learning. So I want to encourage parents, remind your children that they stay on top of their game. You have to, the kids are just, one day a teacher may just pop up and do a quiz, and you have to be on your A game or your A plus game. Stay on top of things. It's not a case, because very often there's an opportunity to have those end of term exams. So you don't want to find yourself where, the last term you're trying to play catch up. So parents, encourage the children, stay on top of the books, stay on top of the studying. And when I say stay on top of the books and stay on top of the studying, I don't necessarily mean that you go stand on it, unless you have good enough reasons why you want to stand on your books. I want to special shout out to those of you that are celebrating birthdays today. Yes, and indeed, it's a pleasure to have you tuned in with us this morning time. You probably wondered where Innocent might be. Innocent is somewhere off on official duties. Yeah, the man is a merry monarch. Yeah, so he has duties to do out of state. And so he said to me, JC, listen, you got to do this for me. Okay, Your Royal Highness. You know what? The man he's wearing the crown, so he's off on those duties. Yeah, so certainly, but I want to say good morning to you wherever you are and you are locked in. I want to say thank you so much for being part of this morning conversation. There's a few folks that's locked in from different points across the globe. Yes, good morning to Michelle Bernard. Good morning to you. I hope you're having a great one. Peter Joseph, yes. Raquel Cummins, sending a whole lot of love, as well as Marcus Williams, Jennifer Lawrence, Akeem, Lewis. We say good morning to you, and thanks for being part of this wonderful conversation. Thanks for being part of it. Later in the morning, we're getting ready. As soon as you come again, we're expecting the team from the GBSS. Celebration 140 years. Why am I giving them more? Celebration 140 years as an institution of learning. And 140 years, that's beyond legacy. But certainly as one of the older institutions of learning on the island, and certainly the celebrating, and the principal Kenny James, he's going to be in with me in just a bit to start that conversation. As you look at the legacy of the GBSS, the impact that it has made on our education landscape, not just here at home, but across the region and other parts of the world. And we're going to have a conversation, look at what is it they're doing as part of the anniversary, and have a really in-depth conversation on the education system, how it has transformed, and what efforts are being made to bring it up to speed. Yes, so that's what's in the wings for you this morning, as you keep your eyes on the clock. 17 minutes gone past in the morning time. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be joining the man Kenny James as we start the conversation in the morning time.
So it begins, a journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Served Grenada for decades, we are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada, St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
If you are 50 years and over or turning 50 in 2024, our 50-plus car insurance is perfect for you. It's loaded with free benefits like loss of use, special perils, and windscreen cover up to $2,500. Getting to 50 is filled with ups and downs. Let's celebrate these moments together and look forward to 50 more. Call Beacon Insurance at 440-4447 or log on to beacongrenada.com to get a free quote today. Special conditions apply.
gets told. And it's been so long, but I'm finally home and walk better place to rest my weary bones than on this beautiful island where there's so much to see. Every corner I turn, there's something there to remind me of my beautiful nation and what it means to me. Not a thing out of place, that's what's special about it. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight. Just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada. This is home, yes. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight. Just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada. This is home, 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 sweet Grenada. Yeah, this is home.
As we look at education and the way it has evolved over the last couple of years, indeed, I want to just have a brief conversation before our guest pops in, and that he would lend himself to the conversation as well. And all of this comes in the heels as the Grenada Boys Secondary School celebrates 140 years as an institution of learning, and indeed, it is a milestone like no other. I want to say good morning to the man himself, Mr. Victor Ashby. Those that are fortunate to call him the old chief that he is. But let's just take an introspective look as we celebrate 51 years as an institution, 51 years as a nation, that is. The GBSS celebrates 140 years. We've had Shaper, they celebrating their anniversary this year as well. There has been a lot of concern, and there continues to be concern regarding the current state of our education system. Yes? And the current state of our education system. When we look at education, the system as it is, how it's in its present construct, and what we knew before. Just this week I saw, I'm not certain as to where it's from, but I saw it was a setting that reflected a classroom where you saw students engage in a physical altercation with a teacher or a senior. I'm not quite sure, with an adult figure. Not quite sure. I would assume that it was a teacher in a classroom setting, but they got into a physical confrontation. Teachers picking up chairs, throwing it at one another, and you start asking yourself, whoa, when did we get to this point? When did we get to this point? Yeah. And in the meantime, we're probably just I want you to chime in and share your thoughts on what has happened, how our education system has evolved, and what can be done to get it back on stream. 425-2041, that's the number on the inside, or you can share your thoughts on the Facebook page or our WhatsApp platform, the WhatsApp number being 435-2041. What has really and truly happened? It's an interesting conversation. But while we are at that, a contributor in social media says it's a very sad situation taking place at the drains in Tantine after the long, and I'm seeing right in front of the Times CC, in fact, there's an area of the sidewalk, or what the sidewalk, that is totally caved in. I saw that efforts were done to sort of secure the area, because I was thinking, when are they going to address it? But it has been a while, that to Tantine area. There's been a call for remedial work in the area, but certainly it makes you wonder, what next? What next? This country is saying after the hard work done in cleaning and bringing it up to standards, the vendors of the tennis court, they throw oil in the drains. It is so unsightly, and oil can't be separated from the water easily, as you can well appreciate. And they're saying that the Ministry of Health should close down these food vendors and make them clean the mess that they are creating. Interesting. What I'm hoping that the ministry is going to do, of course, the different ministries, that is, that broken sidewalk that is there, that they will attend to it like yesterday. Classic, good morning. You're alive. 28 minutes gone past the hour.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're alive.
Education, to me and to those who seem to be educated, fit to live and fit to live with. In other words, you should be able to respond adequately to a situation. In other words, maybe if a man comes to fight with you, you should know what to do so that you could either get rid of him or get rid of the fighting. If you have an
I would probably prefer if you say, because the term getting rid of, it seems to connote violence. I'm not saying that's what you mean. So I'm assuming you're referring to conflict, a way of resolving the conflict. Sir?
Hello?
You were close to a device, sir. You were close to a device.
Well, at first I didn't have no device, but I turned on the device because I wasn't able to hear you. So maybe we have a automatic device coming on somewhere.
What I would want you to do, because I made reference to the state of our education system and what can we do to improve on it compared to what we knew existed back and before.
Well,
what can you recommend?
I don't know. Maybe I would suggest, but not recommend. You see, maybe the people who are placed to educate people are not doing the right thing. They're not letting the people practice, or what should I say, carry out the things for themselves. They're telling them. If you tell somebody, that don't mean to say they learn. But if they do the action, then you would say they learn. For example, you might say the hypotenuse square equal to some of the squares on the other two sides. And go and see, you have to put it in reality. Not teaching on the blackboard. And people believe that mathematics is somewhat unrealistic.
Okay.
Not teaching geography on the board and believing that if you talk about how to plant a tree, you're telling them how to plant the tree on the board. You have to do it in a practical way.
Okay, sir.
In other words, they must have the experience. They must feel the touch. They must see, and you will use all your senses.
Okay.
Or the majority of your senses whenever you are doing anything. For example, anybody could be a surveyor if you could do maths. But for you to do maths in the right way, you go in the field or in your house or wherever it is and teach the children how to do this maths, how to find area and hypotenuse and this and that.
Great, thank you very, very much, sir. And just to summarize what the caller is saying, that learning has to be made practical. It has to be made practical. A lot of children, they may not necessarily understand the principle of Newton's law of motion, that an object at rest would stay at rest. But if you take them to the playing field and you give them a practical you get practical with them. And often says as we celebrate, there was a teacher when I was at school, Mr. Pandey, and that's how he got us to understand those principles. What is kinetic energy, potential energy? We got practical in our learning, and it allowed us to start tapping into our creativity, right? So what is a right angle triangle? Okay, take you to a house, you say to your kids, where you see these two straight lines meet, the column meets the pillar, that's a right angle triangle. And so I would agree with that. Yes, so learning has to be made, has to be made. The education system has to be made adaptable, no doubt. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Oh yes, good morning, Judy. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Now, you see, what are we going to do? I remember in my early days, you had better quality teachers. They had more patience. But we have to understand now that there is a breakdown in society. And sometimes we are afraid to see where it is coming from. For instance, teachers having to demonstrate, go through this stressful situation if they need to get a 2% or 4%. You should not stress out your teaching resource, medical resource, your security resource, your nursing resource. That is the brain of your country. So when these people go under this tremendous stress because they have nobody to represent them to solve their problem, they get fed up. And that is where we are. The teachers are not teaching the way they used to teach because they have very little representation as they teach. And so that just some of them just don't care.
Okay.
You know, and that's where the breakdown is coming from. So our executive, I'm talking, the politicians have to up the game. They have to know what they're to do, take responsibility, represent all sectors of the society, especially the areas that we talk about, your police, your teachers, your doctors, your nurses. Don't stress these people because there will be a total breakdown.
Great.
That's where the problem is coming from.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.
28 minutes on to the hour. We're looking at our the current construction, the current structure of our education system. Some have argued that we've really deviated. We've gone a long way from the values and the traditions that we knew that existed some 20, 30, 40 years ago. And they seem to be the school of thought of the young people. They have gone totally south. South where? South in the wrong direction. What are your thoughts? How do we get them back on that straight and narrow path? 435-2041, that is the number that is on the inside. Reminding you that you can submit your contributions as well via our WhatsApp portal, and I will attend to them from there. Yes? Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Yeah. The fight you saw with GBS's boys and then? With the teacher?
No, it wasn't. As I intimated, I wasn't able to verify the authenticity or where it was from, but I just highlighted the fact that anyway you're seeing students getting involved it was a classroom setting. They were in uniform, not one that I recognize, but I'm just highlighting the fact that wherever it's happening, it is a call for concern.
Okay, well, yeah, because what I realized, you don't not stop and chanting, we the both just stop and pick up people and drop off people. Right in the bottom of GBS.
Uh-huh.
I listen to these children and them, and what these children doing is just cussing more than this. And I wonder why. I say, even if I ask me what would be, that would have never happened. Because you remember, you always wanted to have a high level of decorum. Remember, you always say, oh, you have to have a high level of decorum. And this fellow does not show that.
Do you get the sense that the problem stems beyond the schools?
No, talking about by the bus stop.
No, sir. I'm asking you. That breakdown in respect and decorum, as you say, I'm asking whether or not you think it stems from that issue goes beyond what's happening in the classroom.
Well, that is kind of people listen to that, they will say, well, these school and them, they have no kind of discipline for these children and them. I mean, they should be teaching them better.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. After Ivan, we get a contract to put the distraction them in canteen.
Can we, if you mind, sir, I want us to focus on the conversation at hand, the education system.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Sir, can we focus, if you don't mind?
And while walking the, what I noticed, how the bleacher and them break down. What do you think I found on that? About 30 cutlasses, even the cutlasses.
Okay,
and these kids, they below the dead ball court, just gambling, straight gambling.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I think therein lies one of the problems. Sometimes we wonder why is it our children, and they find it difficult to follow instructions. Here am I, we're trying to have a conversation along a given line, and adults opt in to want to do their own thing. And I think there again resides the problem, because they are learning from us. 23 minutes on to the hour end of the morning time. We'll take a very quick commercial break. Very, very, very quick commercial break. And we're going to be right back.
Wait to see my granddaughter.
One, two, three.
Take it outside, guys.
Are you excited to see your brother?
Billy forgot his keys again.
I'll get it.
Man, we're here this afternoon to inform you that Billy's been involved in a motor vehicle collision and he is sent to
Distracted driving is a deadly decision.
Well, we're keeping our eyes on the clock. 22 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. And let me say thank you and welcome to the man himself, Kenny James. He's the principal of the... Is it acting or let's make sure I get it right?
Acting in the meantime.
You're acting in the meantime. Acting principal at the Grenada Boys Secondary School. Kenny, 140 years. That's... I mean, you and I are not that young. I noticed I didn't use the term old. We're not that young. Well, you know. Well, listen, I am not that young.
Anymore.
But 140 years. That warrants a celebration.
Definitely.
Let's put it into perspective. The GBSS, 140 years later, here we are, celebrating.
And Joseph, the fact that you and I are sitting here is a testimony of the greatness of the GBSS, because the GBSS in one way or another formed us, prepared us for the world, made us the men that we are today. And so we are honoring the past, embracing the present to inspire the future.
And I'm assuming reasonably that's the theme.
That's the theme of our celebration. GBSS 140 years of legacy, honoring the past, embracing the present, inspiring the future.
What does it really mean for the institution?
For us, it is looking at where we came from looking at the achievements of the GBSS, looking at the products of the GBSS. I always say to our current students, wherever you go in the world, in every facet of life, in every facet of industry, you will find a GBSS boy. And that is testimony to what the institution has done over the years. We look at the fact that Grenada today holds Olympic medals. But two of these gentlemen, Dr. Kirani James, Lyndon Victor, GBSS boys. We look at the governor of the ECCB, Governor Timothy Antoine. And even before him, Sir Dwight Venner, GBSS boys. So, and you can go down the line, scientists, doctors, teachers, lawyers, chefs, managers, in all facets of life. We've created it. Amongst us.
Right.
Broadcasters.
I was just about to say to you for fair, because I know when we start talking about the GBSS, for the period that we were at school, there's always that passion and that rivalry that seems to emanate in us, that gets conjured up in us. But I don't want us for some folks to start saying, okay, you want to talk about GBSS? Let us talk about the other institutions.
Joseph, let us be clear. The only institution that can talk to the GBSS nicely when it comes to this is the St. Joseph's Convent.
Right.
They're celebrating 150 years. Congratulations, sisters. You've done well. Now, when it comes to the education of boys in this country and some girls, 140 years, who else is celebrating that? So by merit of the fact that we are that old, there is something, there's a legacy. And so you have to forgive us. We'll brag and we'll boast.
The prize to the one who earns it.
The prize to the one who earns it. Don't end there. Let this be a golden rule. Endeavor
enhances merit.
The
slacker
is follies too.
And I'm happy that we've taken the conversation there, because before you came in, we were speaking about the educational landscape and how it has evolved. Kenny, as a GBSS old boy, now acting principal, I think reasonably I can assume that you have some concerns as to where education, not just the GBSS, where it is at present. How do we move from where we are?
We have to stop throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Over the years, we have been looking at many education systems. Sometimes you hear they talk about Singapore. Sometimes you hear they talk about Finland. They talk about the United States. All over. And from time to time, you would see a focus where we're taking from this one, taking from that one. Has it worked for us? Clearly it hasn't.
Okay.
But we have had a system in the past that has worked. It has worked so well that students leaving primary school were able to enter the world of work and to function. A lot of the students who left, as we would say nowadays, standard 7.
Right.
Function at the level where you may say GC, CSEC graduates function on entry into the workplace. But why are we at the place where some of our students, and across the island, at secondary level, can't read properly? You can't write properly, yet you've passed the CPEA. And you're placed. You get into secondary school and you're lost because it's more reading. You can't cope with that. So what do? There are disruptions. You create distractions in the classroom because you want to get out. Now, this is a serious problem. So when are we going to stop and do that examination? We were at the place in this country where we taught adults how to read.
Right.
So why today are we having problem with teaching children to read and to write? we need to go back. We need to step back. We need to look inward. I think too often we have too much of an outward focus where education is concerned, looking for things when we have done things here that could enhance our system and get us back on track in terms of our literacy.
Discipline, Kenny. And of course, the conversation is always going to touch us around what the history of the GBSS. That was and continues to be very debate, though. The whole conversation of discipline. And many seem to have their questions being asked as to whether it is still present in our school system and the impact that the lack of discipline is having on the system's ability to deliver, and as well as the students' their ability to adapt and learn.
The lapse that we've had, or we're experiencing in discipline is a combination of a number of factors. Because at the school level, teachers, principals still have the authority based on the Education Act to administer discipline.
Right.
Granted that discipline in this era is not just the strap. We have at our disposal now in each of our secondary schools and available to our primary schools, guidance counselors.
Right.
So some of the areas that we struggled with mentally, emotionally, and so on that created or caused behaviors, we now have people who could help us with that.
Right.
Right. But what we are lacking is that societal support. The structures outside of the school where the support should come to ensure that the boy, that the girl is keeping up to what we would call the acceptable standards of discipline in the society. Less of our young people are going to church. Now, in our era, your parents may not have gone to church, but they sent you to Sunday school with somebody. They sent you to church.
True.
So that helped to instill some level of discipline in you and fear of God.
Right.
When you walk the streets, somebody would see you and tell you, son, fix your clothes.
Right.
Son, you're not supposed to do that. They don't know you, but just the fact that you're a child, they give you some direction. You saw a policeman or a policewoman and you understood, hey, this is the law. And once they looked at you, you knew, okay, get yourself in order. The family structure,
right,
was also supportive. Right? A lot of what you have now is you may very well find that the teacher's name might be talked about a lot at home. So by the time the child gets to school, the child is not in the position to make that transition. And so you see a reflection of it, and then some would want to come to schools and behave in unseemly ways. And so all of these factors are helping to undermine what we have. We have two major problems that if we don't deal with in this country, is going to create significant problems for us. You see that marijuana thing that's, as adults and policy makers, we playing the football with, decriminalization, legalization, and while we're doing that, we're not saying to young people, even if that happens,
right,
the fact that you're a child under 18, you would not be able to use, and to ensure that when we find them and we see them now that we deal with it, that is going to be something that's going to haunt us down the road. It's contributing to their discipline. The gambling. Which school child has the gaming license to be gambling all over the place? And who is dealing with this? Now, is that the fault of the students, or is that the fault of a wider society and we the adults? Is it the fault of the school?
Right. And I will agree with you, because I often forward the school of thought that any luxury that our young people enjoy, they didn't decide to stop schooling themselves. some adult decided, you know what? Let's not beat them. Let's not
even talk to them about it.
Let's not talk to them too. You know, the child is very emotional. Yeah, very emotional. But I'm asking you one of those because, of course, as you celebrate 140, you would take the opportunity to reflect on the past, reflect on one of the great heads we've had there, the old chief. And that is, in fact, one of the highlights. That would be one of the highlights of his celebration.
Definitely. Joseph, Honorable Sir Victor Ashby,
and for those of you that
is a legend.
You do not qualify to call him the old chief. It's only some. You have to be part of the GBSS legacy, that grouping, to call him the old chief.
Listen, recently we were in conversation, and my wife asked Mr. Ashby. She said to him, Mr. Ashby, while you were doing all of this, were you aware of, the impact you were having on these boys?
Right.
And he said, my dear, I was just doing what I had to do. But he did it very well.
Oh, yeah.
And certainly impacted the lives of all of us. The educator that I am today is partly because of the educator that Mr. Ashby was to us at the GBSS.
I often say that when Mr. Ashby, the GBSS as an institution, was focused on not just academia.
Mm-hmm.
They focused us on creating an all-rounded individual.
That's right, a holistic individual
that could survive outside of the classroom.
That's right.
And make its mark in life.
That's right. We have brothers who are into construction, have construction companies, who said to you, listen, when you all was home, I was fixing tables and chairs, and that gave me the inspiration to get into construction.
Right.
So as we celebrate, the creme de la creme of the activities of the celebration will be a gala event in August, the 3rd of August, at the Grenada Trade Center. At first, you were thinking about Krung Ballroom, but Krung Ballroom too small.
I mean, the GBSS boys decide to pour in, and women decide to pour in.
I tell you. And we have placed this activity there because we know a lot of people would come in for carnival and so on.
Right.
So as the old boys and old girls come in for their summer vacation and for carnival, we want them to be a part of that. Right. So it's going to be a gala honoring a legend, and the focus will be on the contribution that Mr. Ashby has made to the GBSS and to the education of boys in Grenada. And he has dipped his hand in almost everything.
I saw him the other day.
Sports. He's into pan now.
The old chief is still like, leave him alone.
He's a farmer.
But you know what is interesting, though? That the impact that Mr. Ashby had was not just on the GBSS boys.
No.
On education. Because always you go to different schools, and you hear, even though you went to Happy Hill, but there's always this reverence. And when I talk about the reverence, you're like, Ashby.
Yes.
And he was spoken about in a different light. Why you never went to GBSS, just somehow when you heard the name Victor Ashby,
you stood for a while. You paused.
And you took a bow.
We had a group of principals, and they were very close. Sister Gabrielle Mason, Miss Mason Francis.
Good morning, Miss Mason.
And when you talk about Miss Mason Francis, you had to talk GBSS, not just high school.
Correct.
High school benefited after the GBSS. Right. Mr. Ashby, Mr. McPhail. Right, in St. George's, even Mr. Victor Antoine in St. George's, these were principals where they had something going, and they kind of set a tone. There were mornings when Mr. Ashby came across town and marched the boys over. The boys were holding up Scotia Bank.
The man that he was, and we continue to celebrate him. Some would say that to understand the GBSS, the history of that 140 years, you've had to be part of that GBSS conversation to really appreciate when we talk about the esprit de corps of the GBSS.
My God. The esprit de corps, the GBSS-ness.
The way we do things.
The way we do things.
Right.
And this is what I'm trying to get the boys to understand now. You're not just part of any institution, any ordinary institution. You're a part of what we would term the greatest educational institution in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and maybe even the region.
Well, you must, because if you go to the history of the GBSS, it started as an institution not necessarily that catered just for Grenadians.
That's right.
It catered for learning across the region.
Across the region, yes. Vincentians.
Yeah. So they came to Grenada.
They came to Grenada for education.
To be educated.
Dame Eugenia Charles, former Prime Minister of Dominica, St. Joseph's Convent. So Grenada, listen, and this should say to us, this should help to guide our trajectory in education. We were the leaders. So why are we lagging behind? Why is it that everybody else is telling us what to do rather than we doing what we must? We have so many PhDs in the education system now.
But you hinted to it. We were able for years to get it right. Now we talk about reforming and trying to figure out where are we. But I think the 140 years, the celebration is a good time, a pivotal moment that allows us to reflect. And I think the theme, it really captures it. Then, now, and the way forward. So, outside of the gala from Mr. Ashby, what are some of the other events that you have as part of the celebration?
All right. We did a lunch, we did a press lunch, and the old boys, old girls can go onto the Facebook page, and you would see that there because it was captured there by TNR Communication. So that was held on the 13th of December. Next week, Wednesday, the 22nd, we're calling a meeting of old boys and old girls of all generations.
Right.
At the auditorium, 4:30 in the evening. We have a number of alumni associations outside of Grenada. For example, you have the Alumni International Federation, who is very much involved in assisting us in activities and so on, right? But locally, the local chapter has been dormant for a while.
Okay.
So we need to come together. Let's see where we're going with that. And of course, share the other activities with the boys, rally them together that we could have a successful celebration. So that's next week, Wednesday, 4:30. We'll give a little refreshments, but we're asking the boys to walk with a little money in their pockets. We could pass the hat around, you could buy a drink, because something like this needs financing.
Right.
And we have a lot of old boys, but the school's still poor. It's financially poor,
right.
You know, so we need a little bit. Now, the 2nd of February is the actual birthday, GBSS Day, as we call it. It's a Sunday. So what do? We are going to go to church. We would go to the People's Church in St. Paul's at 7 in the morning.
Right.
The pastor there, Pastor Jerkin Phillip, is a GBSS old boy, so he's GBSS-ness right through. Right? We would thank the Lord, get the blessing, and from there we would move to Secret Harbor.
Right.
For a brunch.
Which will be a public, not secret as in
only GBS secret we own. No. Once you wish to celebrate with us, join us at the service, join us at the brunch. Right? Brunch tickets will be about $100, right? And it's going to be good. And so we're inviting our old boys, our parents, anybody who has some connection with GBSS and would want to join us, join us. You could check the office for tickets. Now on that day and the Monday following, we want our old boys to wear their ties and so on, you know.
Or if they're
your badge.
I was just about to say, if they're really old boys.
Yes,
their badge.
Their badge.
And some they're blazers. It all depends on which generation you represent.
Yeah, the current students, you know, you're going to church on Saturday, the first, or on Sunday, go with your uniform. That the country will recognize GBSS is celebrating something, right? So we want to do that. On the afternoon of the 3rd, that's Monday, we want to have a serious interview. Pastor Stevenson Worm has done the book on the history of the GBSS. There's a revised copy that will be available for sale shortly.
Okay.
And so we've asked him to sit down with Mr. Gordon Delamotte, one of the best artists we have in Grenada. And he is one of the persons who made that transition with GBSS from Melville Street to Tantine.
Right.
So we want to explore that whole experience. What happened there? What happened then? What was it like as compared to what it is now?
Kenny, I'm keeping my eyes on the clock. I mean, you have to be able to appreciate that Mr. Ashby did teach us that there's a time in the season for
everything
under the sun. This is I'm happy now, though, that we've poked the bear and we started the conversation. No doubt I want this to be an ongoing conversation because the GBSS education in Grenada, as we just highlighted, is not just about the GBSS.
That's right.
But it's about us, our Grenadianism.
That's right.
That the GBSS came to represent. If I'm going to ask you before we wrap, though, if you're going to, you have to extrapolate one verse from the school song. Which verse in your mind, which stanza would stand out most to you? And I hope that you can sing it before we go.
The last.
And when boyhood days are
over. Our motto must still remain. For only by earnest endeavor, the highest we shall attain.
A truly
great West Indies.
Be this your constant aim.
This our constant aim. Surmounting insular boundaries. A people in more than name. And that drives you. That listen, it's not just about Grenada. But Grenada must lead the region.
Grenada must lead the region, and we lead the world. And that's where we leave that conversation for now. And it's a good time to say hip hip, hooray, hip hip, hooray. I often say when everybody else says hip hip, hooray, and a GBS's contingent says it conjures up a different spirit and a different meaning.
The Boragi spirit.
Folks, we can do this all morning, but time dictates we have to say goodbye for now. But Kenny, you and I are going to continue this conversation. Folks, we're now going to send you over to the BBC for a bulletin of news that's already in progress.
To Alexander.